304 Monsters by Stephen Bias. In the hills of West Virginia, the monsters are real. This is a book from the Henlo Press, released this year, 2024. It says, "For my friends." A note from the author. My father died yesterday. I know that is a hell of a way to start a dedication and introduction, but it's true. I'm writing this on January 3rd, 2024. Sitting on the floor in my pajamas and drinking a Diet Coke, I'm trying to find the right words to say to all of you. I had completed the original version of this the day before he passed, talking about how I thought he was out of the woods, which turned out to be completely wrong. I'm less than 2 months away from the release of the book you now hold in your hands. The past year has been littered with loss for me. I've tried to put on a brave face and smile. I've done it for my wife, daughter, and mother. It's been hard trying to hold myself together. I've gotten used to telling people the little white lie, I'm fine. First and foremost, to those of you who kickstarted this project to life, I appreciate your patience. We were close to release in May of 2023, and I was on the downslope of editing and preparing to go into advertising 304. I was having t-shirts made and posters. I would contact the town's mayor where I was raised and have my release party there. I had the highest of hopes for this book. The thrill of Afterwords and positive response I had to it was fueling me. That's when June hit. Our target date was my 50th birthday in August. I was ready for all of it. We, the Henlo Press, geared up to launch, and it was all smiles. On June 9th, 2023, ironically, my father's 70th birthday, my son passed away at only 27 years old. I was extremely close to Andrew and talked to him nightly. The spiral a parent takes when their child dies was something I never thought I would deal with. To say I was devastated was an understatement. The number one thing I heard over this entire process, especially from other parents, was the phrase, "I couldn't imagine." There is no more accurate statement. There is nothing like the pain and something I wouldn't wish on anyone. It's like someone tears a hole through you that you know deep down nothing can fill. The Henlo Press and I met at the end of June and decided to push the release back to the holiday of the year to give me time to at least try to put the pieces back together. My father went to the hospital on the final week of June and didn't come home till November. We were told on numerous occasions that he wouldn't be coming home. He kept fighting, primarily for my mother, whom he'd been married to for 52 years. When he was healthy, they had a relationship people only dream about. I watched as she never left his side, and as a part of her drained away. It was bad enough to lose Andrew, but now we were losing my father too. In October, my dog, at the ripe age of 15, had developed cancer throughout her stomach and esophagus, and I had to have her euthanized. I held her while she went and asked no one in particular on my way out the door. Is there a place I can just pay the fine and things get better? The family gathered for Thanksgiving, and it was fantastic. Dad was his usual self, minus a leg they had to remove while he was ill. I had a bunch of hoodies made for the book, commissioned some art, and off we went. We locked down the date of February 25th, 2024, and again I started the final rush to release. The thing about 304 Monsters is that while it's meant to be a horror story, the underlying theme in this book is and has always been about family. West Virginia is not your typical place. I'm sure most people who read this are from here. I'm hoping to get those who aren't to understand. So the point I'm trying to make is I don't think my family had to cook a meal till September. My phone and doorbell never stopped going off, even when I asked to be alone. On June 22nd, the day I laid him to rest, when I sat down at the end of the day and glanced at my phone, I had almost 200 text messages from people I hadn't talked to in over 25 years. I'm not trying to darken your mood or bring you down. What I want to do is set the stage. West Virginia and its people prop you up. They won't let you fall, as they brace themselves against your back. When I would tell a little white lie of "I'm fine," the people around me were saying with their actions, "You will be." For the love of God, someone was texting me hydration reminders. They made sure I drank water, and if I told them I was having coffee, they would chastise me. Now, I know what you're thinking. Family and friends do these things. That's what they're for. That's just it. This wasn't just family and friends. Someone I hated throughout high school and into adulthood reached out to me. People who hadn't seen me in decades got my phone number and called in support. I still don't know who the family that sent me the Long John Silvers is. I got hugged by a woman I'd never met, and social media messages from a few people who heard what happened to me through the West Virginia grapevine. I decided then and there to go back through this book and would change the names as a tribute to the people who were there when I needed them. Those who listened to me lash out at the world, those who made me laugh, and those who made me cry. The characters don't look like them or act the way they do, but I wanted to give them a nod, to let them know I loved them and I heard them. I felt all the warmth they sent my way. To the people who backed this book, I couldn't do this without you. I shattered Afterwords' original funding and have continued to grow, and it's a beautiful feeling knowing people like what I place on the page. To everyone who comes to the booth at shows I'm at, takes time to listen to my spiel, I thank you. I love nothing more than going to book festivals and conventions. They brighten my day. Now for the hard part. This book is dedicated to two people. The first is Andrew. My son left the world way too soon. I'm a better man for knowing you, and I will always ache when midnight rolls around. I would call him most nights just to argue about things. He's the real reason this book exists. After my first novel, he called me up once he finished it and said, "Dad, I liked it, but it wasn't what I expected. I thought you'd do more of a horror comedy. That's so up your alley." That's precisely what I did, Andrew, and I think it's a fantastic story. I hope everyone else does too. I think you'd be proud of this one. I hope wherever you are in the after, you get a chance to read it. The second is my father, David. You were sick for a long time, but tried to force a smile. I was proud to be your son. I'm honored to carry your last name, and I'm happy that I got to tell you how I felt about you before the end. On the day he passed, that morning, my mother was wearing a 304 Monsters hoodie, and my dad told her, "I hope he hits it with this one. He's worked hard." 6 hours away from leaving the world, he was still thinking about his children. That was David in a nutshell. I couldn't dedicate this to two better people. Stephen. So now, a little word from me. My name is Tina, and I grew up with Stephen and his family, and he was one of my best friends all through school. He even wore a jean jacket that had Tinaism painted on the back of it. And we had some really fun and crazy times together. And his dad, David, is one of the reasons that I'm so into music. And the way they passed that down to Drew, who I also knew very, very well. Drew, David, and I, with my friend John Norris, we got to make music together summer before last. And it was beautiful because we had plans to do it again, but they weren't long for this world. But to all of you, to the Bias family, I love you, and all I can do is send love and well wishes. And I'm going to delve into this book, 304 Monsters. And I cherish my hoodie. I am the ladyfish. Enjoy this book, everyone. It comes from the heart.